Hey everyone, Maya here, your award-winning mindset coach. So you've launched, but nobody bought. Or you pitched your offer and they said no. Or maybe you posted something great and full of value, but it still got zero engagement. Now your brain's telling you you're a failure, that you're not cut out for this, that maybe this whole thing was a bad idea. But none of that is true. It's just what happens when you take data and turn it into drama. One of the biggest things that's messing with your success isn't your offer, isn't the algorithm, it's not even your strategy. It's the emotional meaning that you attach to completely normal, everyday moments or experiences in your business. Stuff that we've all experienced. That emotional drama is literally hijacking your clarity. It's distorting the data and information in front of you. And suddenly you're making decisions from feelings of fear, of pressure, or defeat, instead of from leadership, vision, or power. In this video, I'm going to share with you a super simple 4-step protocol to stop making completely normal situations in your business mean something about you, your potential, or your future, and to emotionally detach from what is happening or from the results you're getting, so that you can respond with a clear head, with confidence and calm, and continue to take strategic action, even when things don't go to plan. Let's say you do a sales call and they say no. What do you take from that? If you're not used to separating data from emotion, your brain immediately turns it into some emotional story. That was awful. I'm so bad at this. I knew this offer wasn't good enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this will never work out for me. But what's the actual data? Someone didn't say yes. That's it. That's the raw data point. And when you look at it through this clear lens, not a cloud of emotion, that no might simply be one of many no's that are totally expected based on your industry's average conversion rate. Or maybe it reveals some valuable information. Maybe there's something that you can improve in how your offer is being packaged or communicated. Maybe they weren't the right fit. Maybe it reveals information about your ideal client. All of that is super useful information. But it's only useful when you're calm and clear enough to look at it like a strategist, not someone who just got punched in the gut. And that's what happens when you let emotions take over. You miss this huge opportunity to learn. And learning is the only way you grow your business. So you're basically throwing away the data and instead spiraling into self-doubt or shame or fear. The reason why this happens is that your brain doesn't like uncertainty. So when there's a gap between what you want to happen and what actually happens, when someone doesn't buy or respond or engage, it fills that gap with meaning. And that meaning tends to come from old familiar emotions like insecurity, doubt, fear. And the truth is, the problem isn't feeling the emotion. That's just human. But as a business owner, you need to learn how to lead yourself through the emotion, to not let it cloud your mind or vision, to not let it make your decisions for you. Yes, the emotion is valid. Of course, it can feel super frustrating and discouraging when things don't work out. But that doesn't mean the emotion is helpful. And it doesn't mean that the story it's telling you is true. Emotional mastery is something that you must learn if you want to build long-term success. The real skill, and it is a skill that you can learn, is being able to pause, zoom out, detach, and ask yourself, What am I actually looking at here? What actually is? Is this a personal failure, the end of the world? Or is it just data I can work with? Because when you stop taking it personally, you can start taking it professionally. And you start responding like a true leader, like a CEO, like your successful future self. So the shift that will move you into that empowered rather than limited response is, what if nothing was wrong? What if that sales call that ended in a no wasn't a personal rejection? What if that post that didn't get engagement wasn't a failure? What if that launch that didn't hit the numbers wasn't a sign I'm bad at this? What if any and all these things didn't have to mean anything about me at all? What if they were just data points? This is the reframe that keeps you in your power. Not everything has to mean something. Not everything is personal. Not every moment in your business requires emotional input. And I know that might sound hard, especially if you're used to running everything through an emotional filter, but that might be exactly what's keeping you stuck. It's clouding your vision, both what you see right in front of you now and your future target reality vision. When you stop assuming every result has a hidden message about your worth, your potential, or your future, you finally give yourself space. Space to see clearly. Space to respond calmly and strategically. Space to grow without collapsing every time something doesn't go to plan. Practicing detachment isn't cold. It's not about numbing out. It's not turning yourself into some AI robot. It's about clarity. It's saying, I get to feel the emotion, but I don't need to hold on to it, and it doesn't get to lead. Because you are the one leading and running your business, not your frustration, not your shame, not your doubt, not your stories. You, your future self, your vision, your strategy, and your next move. Those get to lead. So, what do you actually do when things don't go the way you want? How do you separate the facts from feelings and stop letting your nervous system run your business? Here's a tool I teach my clients. I call it the 4D protocol: data, drama, decision, direction. Let's go through it. So step 1, data. What actually happened? Not what you think happened, not the story your brain made up about it, just the raw, boring, neutral facts. For example, I launched and didn't get signups. Or they said no on the sales call. Or that reel got 17 views in 48 hours. That's it. That's the data. You're stripping it right back to what's objectively observable. No emotion, no drama, no catastrophizing. Because the moment you add a layer of meaning, you're no longer working with truth. You're working with interpretation. Step 2, drama. What did I make it mean? This is where you catch the emotional story. And it's okay that it's there. Again, you're not a robot. You're allowed to feel. But you are not required to hold on to, follow, or obey every feeling as if it's truth. So ask yourself, what feeling exactly did this bring up? What story did I just tell myself about this? Where did I take this personally? Make it about my identity, who I am, my potential, or my future. What negative or limiting belief got triggered? So it might sound like, this means nobody wants what I have to offer. Or I must have said something wrong. Or I'm so behind, this is never going to work. Or I'm not good enough to do this. Now, this is important. What you're doing here is not judging their reaction. You're just naming it, seeing it for what it is. a story, not a fact. And just that alone, that moment of awareness, already puts you back in power. Step 3, decision. What do I want to believe instead? And what do I want to learn? Now you get to choose, because you always get to. So ask yourself, what would my future self believe right now? What belief supports the business I am here to build and the impact I'm here to make? What valuable information is this pointing to? And what more data can I gather to get better results next time? And then say it out loud. So, for example, I choose to believe this is feedback, not failure. Or, this is just one moment. It doesn't define anything. It's not the whole story. Or, I am the kind of woman, the kind of business owner, the kind of CEO who learns, adjusts, and keeps going. Or, this is showing me where I can tweak, improve, or get clearer on XYZ, and I am committed to doing that. This decision is your reset point. This is where you take back your authority, not just over how you feel, but over the direction you're choosing to take from here. You're choosing to learn, and that is how you evolve. Okay, so step 4, direction. What action aligns with that decision you've just made? This is now your opportunity to move and actually grow. This is where insight turns into actual progress. Because identity, belief, and confidence don't shift just through thinking. Results don't shift through just awareness. They shift through action, through moving. So ask yourself, what would I do next if I wasn't reacting emotionally? What is one clear strategic action that aligns with what I now choose to believe or what I want to learn or get more data about? And then do it. So, for example, it could be follow up, ask for feedback, maybe do more market research. It could be rewrite the pitch, rethink the messaging, or maybe what you need is rest and a clear head before you relaunch. You're not just responding anymore here. You're leading from clarity, from choice, from who you are evolving into. Now, if you want to go deeper, this is where I bring in the Sedona method with my clients. It is the most powerful tool I have ever come across for emotional mastery. It's not about suppressing or avoiding emotions. It's about actually dissolving them. Gently, quickly, you literally get to clear out any unhelpful emotion on the spot. It brings you back to clarity, back to alignment, back to freedom. Fast. If you're curious, comment or DM me Sedona and I'll send you more information. But for now, remember the 4 Ds: data, drama, decision, direction. Use it every time your mind tries to make it mean something is wrong. And remind yourself, the situation might not have gone the way you planned or wanted, but you still get to decide where you go from here. You're not stuck, you're leading through it, which is exactly what successful women do. This isn't just a mindset tool, this is real-time rewiring. Every single time you pause and walk yourself through the 4D protocol, even just mentally, you're interrupting your old emotional default. And you're training your system to respond differently, from clarity, not chaos. That is how you rewire your emotional response over time, through repetition in the moments that matter. Moments like after a disappointing launch or a pitch that didn't get results, or when you get ghosted, feel rejected or ignored, after a tough sales call or a no-show, when you put your heart into content and get no engagement. And really, whenever your mind gets hijacked by that, this means I'm failing loop, I've actually created a free PDF with this exact process and the exact questions that you can use. The link is below this video. No opt-in required. You can just download it straight away, follow the questions, and fill it in when you need to. However you use it, the more often you do, the faster you build your emotional mastery skills. This is about more than just handling hard moments. It's about evolving into your future self by leading through those emotions. Your future self who sees clearly, who doesn't let a temporary emotion take over. You get to feel what you feel, but you also get to choose what you do with it. That's the difference between emotionally reactive and becoming intentionally creative. This is what long-term success is actually built on. Not just confidence when things are going well, but commitment and clarity when they're not. Resilience when things are a bit shit. Self-leadership when it would be easier to spiral or give up. Women who succeed, they're the ones who know how to feel it and still lead themselves through it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay in the game, stay committed, stay aligned with your vision. So next time something triggers an emotional spiral, pause, breathe, and take yourself through the 4 Ds. And you will transform who you become in the process. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more No Fluff Mindset. And don't forget to grab your free 4D protocol PDF below. No opt-in, just take it and use it. Because the kind of growth you want and the woman you're evolving into depends on how you lead in those moments that try to knock you off course. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can do anything. I see you next time.